don't talk to us about looting. Y'all are the looters. America has looted black people. This is a coordinated activity happening across this nation. And so we are in a state of emergency. Black people are dying in a state of emergency. Enough is enough. And we are not responsible for the mental illness that has been inflicted upon our people by the American government, institutions, and those people who are in positions of power. I don't give a damn if they burn down Target, because Target should be on the streets with us, calling for the justice that our people deserve. So if you are not coming to the people's defense, then don't challenge us. When young people and other people who are frustrated and instigated by the people you pay, you are paying instigators to be among our people out there, throwing rocks, breaking windows, and burning down buildings. Do your job. Do what you say this country is supposed to be about, the land of the free for all. It has not been free for black people, and we are tired. So if you want us to do better, then damn it, you do better.
You got to fight for your right to party. Catch me on lean sipping on the Bacardi. Never mind me, mom, here to get naughty. When you wanna leave me by the Ferrari. You got to fight for your right, fight for your right, fight for your right to party. You got to fight for your right, fight for your right, fight for your right to party. I fight poverty with a passion. Hello, and welcome to Black Holiday TV. How's everybody doing out there? I am Black Holiday, and I'm here with two special guests, two special friends of mine, right here in the studio. To my immediate left, Mr. Ted Hayes, and to the left of him, Mr. Keith. Can you say your last name?
Cascio.
I would have totally messed that up. I was going to say Casico.
Cascio, yeah, Sicilian last name.
Sicilian, right. And it's just the three of us being here together is us proving that it doesn't matter where you're from. It's all about where you at mentally. And anyway, Mr. Keith, time to talk to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
The explosion in the room has now come.
Yes. Ready to explode.
Ready to explode. And ready to explode on that District 55. Is that correct?
I want to, but I just want to react to what you just said. My reaction to you sharing this health scare that you had is that what happened was, on a spiritual level, you rededicated your life. And I think that's exactly why we had the interaction that we had when I descended the stairs at the Fairmont Century Plaza and I met yourself and King Melik Zakaria at the same time.
That's right. We were
and
there.
There's an intensity of focus that you're bringing to your life now that's probably deeper, you know. And what I want to say is that I've had other requests to do podcasts, you know, and I just haven't felt like I was motivated. This is the number one. This is the first time. And then other things you're sharing about, you know, helping people on the beach. It's like the word that came to my mind earlier today was that somehow I know that you're a humanitarian, and that's rare these days. Also, Ted Hayes is a genuine humanitarian, but just look out there. Look at the media, you know, you don't get that vibe as much from folks out there. And I think that's part of what makes me feel so comfortable. So it's just like, it's a genuine feeling when I came into the studio. I was like, happy to see you. And then if I could just say about Ted Hayes, you know, yes, I am in politics. And so I'm at, you know, I'm at events, you know, including this thing called Hope LA Day in 2022.
Matter of fact, you sent me one this morning. What is it? What was it? Servers Day or something like that?
Okay.
It was some kind of day today. I forgot. It was February,
May 9th. Or every day. I'm going
every
to
day
events.
Every day is a holiday with Black Holiday. But
almost every day now.
Almost every day I'm alive for sure. But anyway, it was. I don't want to say it was an Earth Day. I forgot what day it was, but. It
could be the car show that's coming up. There's a couple of car shows coming up. Yesterday, I went to a couple of events. One of them was the Cal Fresh Awareness event at Mar Vista Rec. Okay, but that was much more than that, though. Some of these events are titled a certain way, and there's a lot more leadership there than you would think. Yeah, so I do a lot of events. But if I could just say that, if I could be so bold, Ted Hayes brings a gravitas to a lot of political events, and it's much needed. because politics is a realm where it's just like it blows around quickly, you know, and to just have a voice that is reminding us that we need to like remember those that have come before us, and we need to remember that we're part of an American story, is extremely valuable. So it's really an honor to be able to chat with both of you gentlemen today.
Thank you.
I've been excited for 2 weeks to do this.
Get here, no doubt. We've been talking about it, and I'm really glad to have you here because I think that you're like a pumpkin seed, bro. I mean, the seed is
What you mean by that?
Yeah, you got to find out.
What you mean by
I'm
that?
extremely curious.
It's a big seed, and it's like if you let the seed sit and let it fermentate, or whatever you want to call it, germinate, where it grows, it's going to grow this big thing.
Now that's a huge compliment. That's a gigantic compliment.
Well, they don't see it. They don't see it coming.
Okay, yeah.
They don't see it coming. But what I'm saying is, if we plant that seed right, and I've told you this, if we plant that seed right, and you live up to the seed that we plant, this could be very big. It definitely is very, very big, because for the last, how many, 8 decades in your district has been represented by Democrat.
Well, there's some really important history that should be celebrated. We're celebrating this history.
No doubt. Well, we don't have it. It's not time to celebrate yet. We can't pop champagne bottles yet, but we do foresee that with you in office, there could be some celebration.
Oh, I think it would be a win. I want to say
you
that.
Think it'd be a win-win for both of us?
Well,
for us, for the Republican Party and the Black community?
Yes. Well, it has to be. The way I like to say it is the assemblyship of the 55th district, the most historic Black district in California, must be a net win for the Black community, not even just in the 55th, but in all of Los Angeles.
Wow.
Because the district is so important in that way.
How much power comes out of that district?
Well, let's look at the history, okay? In 1967, Yvonne Brathwaite Burke was elected to the predecessor seat. Okay.
Can you show that? Can you show that? What's that? The history? That is the blog. Or I think that's blog.
All right. The blog post from my campaign website, it says 57 glorious years of FBA ADOS superstars in the Culver Crenshaw district.
There it is.
That's a post that I put up, and you got some photos there, but you know, that would be Yvonne Brathwaite Burke, Julian Dixon, Gwen Moore, Kevin Murray, Herb Wesson, and now we're getting to some really big names, Karen Bass.
You can click on the pictures and you go.
There we go.
Yeah,
Karen Bass.
Start from
Holly Mitchell, Sebastian Ridley Thomas.
Start from the beginning so that everybody knows the first one, Yvonne.
Okay, in 1967, the first Black representative for this district in modern times, not the first Black representative, because that was Frederick Madison Roberts in 1919.
Right.
But in modern times was Yvonne Brathwaite Burke. You know?
Right, and that's her all the way at the end. Is that correct?
I think part of it might be cut off, but I don't know what the screen shows. You know, but on the monitor we're looking at. But then it would be, because then the next one needs to be Herb Wesson, not Herb Wesson, excuse me, Julian Dixon. But I don't see Julian Dixon on the screen right now. So there's some more that's over to the left.
Well, but, when I looked at it, this is basically what came up. I don't think it's that she's on the end, and that's where. But this is the picture that I was able to get. And you see Karen Bass on there.
Karen Bass. And then Holly Mitchell, County Supervisor Holly Mitchell. You see Sebastian Ridley Thomas. And then if we were to keep going, it's Sidney Comlodger, who's the current congresswoman for this district. And
how many years of power?
It's 57 years.
57 years. That's a long time.
Yeah, and it should be celebrated.
It definitely should be celebrated. I don't think people are mad about it. But what I would like to know is, why would we break away from that now and go into the Republican Party?
I mean, usually the thing that drives, in some of our minds, that drives a lot of history is technology.
Technology.
You know,
and you used to be a software engineer, is that correct?
I am a software engineer.
My
background is artificial intelligence.
I like how you said that.
And Ted Hayes knows this, that the rate of change of history is accelerating. And so when you were saying earlier, Black Holiday, that, you know, we're in for something that we can't even completely predict.
Phantom.
100% agree with that. And so that's exciting. You know, things are changing quickly.
I don't know how exciting that is.
And so all that we can do...
Not exciting for me.
Okay. Well,
because I'm the target.
Well, wouldn't that be a good thing to deliver, to make everybody feel a little bit better about the future?
It would be. You know what? My auntie is a social worker, and she's been in social services for about 4 years. And oftentimes when I talk to her, I'm just amazed at her perspective on things, because a lot of times when I'm talking about gentrification and this, that, and other, she always gets me to see the other side of things. She's like, well, you know, things are rough for them too, but you know, I don't know why would you want things to be the same way all the time. I mean, you might be able to gain something from people moving into your community, because what was going on before in your community, it wasn't like it was such a great place. You understand what I'm saying? So now that you got people moving into the community and you do have some dollars flowing into the community, why are you so against it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, why do you have a problem with
for Destination Crenshaw? Yes.
$100 million for Destination Crenshaw. I was driving up Crenshaw today, and I was looking at all the differences that they're making. Go ahead, Mr. Hayes.
No, I'm just a question to Keith.
Yes, sir.
You ready for this?
I super am. I super am ready. Yes, sir.
Not only are you talking Republican,
I am a registered Republican. I'm running as a moderate pro-choice Republican.
You are also a white guy.
I am a Caucasian man from Brooklyn, New York, originally.
I don't care where you're from. You are a white guy. And this was formed an all-black district, but you're appealing to that population. And we have homelessness, and we have young black men dying by gunfire from the hands of young black men, and there's silence on it. Nobody's talking about it. Worse than the Middle East. And we got a lot of other issues in black neighborhood. You've been around us, Brooklyn to here.
Yeah.
White Republican, conservative. How in the world do you think these folks gonna follow you? Why should they follow you? Why should they listen to you?
When I moved to this...
Because, as you know, whenever the white man comes, he wants something. He don't come unless he wants something.
The white man, myself, came to Los Angeles 22 years ago.
Quote unquote white man.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Not fully understanding that I was moving to a black district. I moved to a place that looked great.
Oh, you found yourself in the...
Okay.
Let's hear this. I'd like to hear that. You moved to a place that looked great?
Yeah. I mean, the west side of Los Angeles.
It looked great.
Because the 55th district goes from Lincoln Boulevard.
What year did you get here?
Let's see, that would be 2001.
2001.
It was. I came out after September 11th happened on the East Coast. I came out to L.A.
Well, let me just tell you that in 2001, I was still sitting in the federal penitentiary, waiting to be. I had 9 more years before I could get released. But I'm glad it didn't look good to you, because I'm just trying to show you what that neighborhood did for me.
You share that with me for the first time on the podcast? Okay.
I mean, this is what the podcast is. It just is about being real. But I just wanted to show the difference in our reality.
And I was at a reentry awareness fair yesterday at LATTC, LA Trade and Technical College.
I used to go to
huge
that. That was one of the first colleges I went to when I came home.
Okay, it's a beautiful college.
It's
beautiful
college.
Campus. Kind of near USC over there.
Yes.
And I took the train. I took the Metro E-Line train from the other event that I was at yesterday morning, and there were 3 Metro employees on the train car that I got, 3 males, 2 Latino, 1 black man. And I just struck up conversation because I'm very chatty these days.
Right.
And I said I'm going to...
How did you strike up the conversation? I'm just interested. What did you say first? Because
you know, sometimes the fact that I'm wearing a suit and tie has a tendency to cause the conversation to happen. But what I mostly do is I acknowledge people's presence. I just say hi.
Right.
So I don't just ignore them like so many people do.
Right.
So I said hi to all of them. I said it's good to be on the train. What a beautiful day. So I mean, just right away, you have a
broke
conversation.
The ice.
And they said, well, why the
damn
suit?
near froze ministries. You ready, bro? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Why the suit? Oh, I'm running for office. Oh, okay. Well, what are you doing today running for office? I'm going to a reentry fair. And then my new friend, Jimmy, was the man that I met there. His face changed. His facial expression changed. And he said something to me that was like in code, but sometimes people need to speak in code. He said something like, I've been there. And I said, and I looked at him, I said, he's trying to tell me something. And then when he ended up sharing, and this man had been wrongfully incarcerated for a long time. And then when he started sharing details with me, it checked out because it was the 77th LAPD precinct that is well known.
I lived around the corner for a long period of time.
Some just really unfortunate things that were happening. I mean, I remember when I moved to LA in 2001, I was reading LA Weekly, and they were talking about the Rampart scandal.
I think they don't even have LA Weekly anymore, do they?
It's changed a lot. It's online only. But back then, in the good old days, and so everything he's saying to me.
So you know that I was literally in prison with David Mack. He was part of the Rampart scandal.
Wow. This
I
is
got
how it
history,
gets
bro.
deeper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it gets
I had
deeper.
a feeling.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Well, I mean, I would have no reason to tell you that unless we were talking like what we're talking about. But
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and this gentleman on the train ride would not normally share what he was sharing. So that's one cool thing about running for office, and Ted Hayes is running for office. You know, we develop our ability to establish a rapport with somebody extremely quickly. You know, if you go door to door, if you spend 7 hours going door to door, you're going to develop that ability to establish a rapport, and also, by the way, to run away when that rapport is not going to happen.
Well, trust me. Listen, I know that because I was a door-to-door salesman. You know, I was a door-to-door. You
Okay,
know what I used to sell?
another thing.
Another caveat that you didn't know. You know what I used to sell?
It could have been
Guess.
insurance. A lot of times people selling insurance. No?
Meat.
Oh, meat. Good.
Guess where I was selling it?
Right.
Get your mind out the gutter. I was selling actually steaks, ribeyes in Nevada.
Wow.
Of all places, as hot as a bitch. As for I haven't said word comes first the whole time.
And what were the demographics of the communities where you were selling?
A lot of Caucasian.
All
and as
right.
a matter of fact, it drove me to stop. Now that I've looked back, I stopped selling it because I would often I would defeat myself in my mind because because oftentimes I would go knock on the door and they wouldn't answer. And I know that they were in there.
Yeah.
I could hear the dogs.
But
You
see,
understand what I'm saying?
As somebody who does door-to-door work, that happens all the time. And even worse, they open the Venetian blinds just
That
a
part
little
right
bit,
there.
and they look at you, and then they don't open the door.
They don't open the door. And you're standing outside sweating. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you already know by the time they come to the door, you know what it's going to be. It's going to be a no. It's not easy to go door to door is basically what I'm saying.
But really good for your character and really good for your communication abilities, which we all desperately need in this time when we're
doubt.
competing against artificial intelligence to
doubt.
communicate with each other.
Communication is definitely going by the wayside.
May I? So,
Please.
what you gonna do about us?
Well, one thing is
When we put you in office, what you gonna do about us?
So the peculiar institution, right? Race-based chattel slavery is the original sin of the United States. And what is
that and the murder of the native people and taking their property?
also that's true. That's true.
Don't forget about that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
Those are the two foundations of this nation that has yet to be rectified. But we'll talk about that. We want to hear what you want to.
And so what is the black story in the United States? It's a story of survival.
Definitely.
And so the black community has discovered many powerful forms of survival. And so one of the things that has to happen is to always make sure that one listens to the black community about how something needs to happen.
I think this would be a good opportunity to put up the platforms that you're running on. Let's take a look
Yeah.
at that. And then you could talk
That is
through
my,
those.
that is my web platform, which I would be happy to talk about. But there's been
Just click
so
on
many
platforms. There you go. Right
there's been so many crucial issues. That's the About Me page, but then there's a link for platform there that we could just click on, and it'll put
Right
up
there, yeah, platforms.
a
There you
very high level. I mean, we've already in this conversation got to so much more interesting material.
We got to unpack some of it.
But Ted Hayes is asking me. So here I came to this really special part of the country that I didn't understand how special it was, and I'm so proud to be here now.
Let me ask you right now on that note. Why do you say it's special?
Because it's a crucible where new things could happen that will affect the entire rest of the country. We can say this here in LA. We could say it in New York. We basically create the next thing that's going to happen. And I'm running for office here. I'm not running for president of the United States, so I'm sorry,
Not
everybody
yet.
in
Not
the
yet.
rest of the country.
Not yet.
Okay, but and so wouldn't you want to be here? And I'm so glad I didn't leave. I've had to watch so many acquaintances of mine, colleagues of mine, have left the state. Okay?
So let me ask you this: when you got here, what were you thinking? Were you thinking I'm going to run for District 55? I'm going to be the next Republican candidate for District 55.
23 years ago?
Did you even know? Did you even know?
No,
did
my
you have-
process of getting into politics was a very slow, incremental process. I'm a software engineer. I love software. I love computer science. But then I did have to be in that industry for 25 years and learn the way it actually functions in our world. Okay. And then I had to find out that our world does not, that some of my assumptions about the way it works were incomplete.
What was that like? What was that like? You came here as a software engineer,
Right.
had no plans to
Also
get
a
into...
musician.
Oh,
also a musician. Okay, so I came to LA partly because I moved to Hollywood and I was writing and recording music. Okay,
What kind of music you do?
that didn't last that long. I mean, I I tried to do rock. One of my most beloved songs that I did was a reggae song.
Wow.
I got into electronica.
You know this is a hip hop show. I do hip hop.
Okay, right.
Let me hear that reggae song you did. If you can remember it, just give it
okay,
off the cuff. Let me see.
Okay, it had a good bass line. Dun 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 dun. Okay, and it was called On the Bus. It was called On the Bus. Okay, because I used to be riding the bus.
On the bus.
I rode the bus on Thanksgiving Day from Hollywood to Pasadena because I had a cousin at the time that was in Pasadena, and I had Thanksgiving Day that way. And I met my extremely good friend O'Neill, a musician.
Ryan O'Neill?
A Jamaican American man. That's his
man.
first name, O'Neill Dennis, and he is one of my many acquaintances that has left the state.
Did he inspire this song?
Back to Brooklyn.
Did he inspire this song?
I wouldn't say that he inspired it, but
can you remember any lyrics from the song?
There wasn't much besides the words "on the bus." On the bus. Okay. There wasn't much in it.
Hey, when you on the bus, that's usually how it goes.
Okay.
That's the only thing you can really remember. I'm on this bus. I'm on the bus.
I hope this piece of background about me is going to bolster me as a serious politician here.
Hey, listen, even politicians got to ride the bus in L.A. at some point in time.
They should actually. In fact,
definitely.
They all should.
So what you going to do about us black homeless people, about these people killing each other in the community? What you going to do about that?
So they say nothing is sacred these days, right? But aren't there certain roles in society that have a sacred duty to guide and protect and give good information?
That's usually the black woman.
Folks. Okay.
Like grandma, big mama.
Okay, well then I'm going to have to learn from black women. And I was doing that earlier today. I was in a Zoom call, the Black Business Association Recycling Black Dollars podcast. It's a Zoom call that is chaired by Crystal Mitchell. And so March was Women's History Month, and in the 55th district that means it is a time to celebrate black women.
Okay,
and there were many occasions for that. But if I could answer the question about the sacred duty of certain roles of society, which Ted Hayes most certainly fulfills, but pastors fulfill this role, rabbis fulfill this role, imams, okay, where there's a group of people that are listening to you preach every week at least, and they're looking to you for guidance. And what you should not want to get into a situation is where they end up surprised because you told them one thing and then a completely different thing happened to them, right?
Right.
You should be the one voice that's trying to let them know ahead of time, this is what's coming down the pike. This is how rapidly our world is going to change because of technology.
So as the assemblyman of the 55th district,
right,
you would put a bit more attention and pressure on the ministers and the spiritual leaders of the community, because what you're saying is that our crisis is not so much money and things, there's a wounded soul. Yep. And the only way that soul can be healed is if these so-called spiritual leaders teach that. And you're saying they should, not the politician. It's not the politicians or the government's job to teach etiquette and
it should be delegated where it needs to be delegated. Absolutely. Delegate a faith role to a faith leader.
So how would you put that pressure on them? There's some kind of way. Would you make some legislation?
I would lure them with food. We would have a breakfast. We need to have a pastor's breakfast. And we need to have a pastors and rabbis and imams breakfast together. And because I think to some degree in this secular society that we live in, this ultra capitalist secular society, they may underestimate the amount of influence that they have. So we just lost Cecil Chip Murray. Okay, we just lost the most important black pastor in Los Angeles in the past 50 years. And I was on Wikipedia today, and I discovered that for some reason his Wikipedia article didn't even have a photo of him in it. The most important black pastor of the past 50 years.
That's usually how Black history goes.
I don't understand, but you could be sure. You could be sure. I found a good photo of him, and I ran it by a couple of my friends that I've made at First AME Church, and they said it was a great photo of him, and I uploaded it and I put that into the article so that there's a photo of him now.
Good for you.
Okay, so if that answers the question.
Well, listen, on that level, right along the lines of what we're talking about, this is what we talked plenty of times. And I know you have a vivid imagination, and I know that your heart.
Another compliment. Yeah.
I know that your heart is centered.
It better be.
It has to be. We've talked about that. Your heart is centered on winning over the black vote in this community. I know that for sure. But this is what I like to know. Can you just take us through, like, when the president gets elected, they talk about the first 100 days in office. Give us maybe an example of your first 100 days in office.
Until I met a man named Kelvin yesterday, I had the perfect answer for that, and it involved a lot of listening, and it specifically it relates to homelessness. Okay, and I essentially answered the question you just asked me to this very brilliant man that I met yesterday at an event named Kelvin, and he said, you might not be able to hold the black community's attention for that long just listening. You might need to do something. And I was like, oh wow, that's a good point. Maybe we do need to do something.
You definitely need to. We do want to see some action.
But
that's
isn't
for sure.
that one of the troubles in our politics these days?
What's that?
There's this compulsion to just do anything. The expression is something must be done.
Yeah,
this is something. Therefore, we must do it.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the end of the day, nowadays especially, every time you're going online, anytime you're trying to do anything, one of the first things, two things that they tell you right out the gate, any successful plan starts, one, with clarity, and two, with having a plan. First of all, it have to be clear, and it has to be a plan that's so detailed that a baby could tell you how it works. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm going to be bold enough to talk about the plan in front of an expert, and we'll just see what happens to me. And I know Ted knows about this already, but if you web search,
be bold enough to share it with the whole world.
If you web search, and I'm ready to share, and I've shared this at so many doorsteps.
And before you go there, also answer the border. What are you going to do about that border?
He's not the president. He's just
but he is in California.
It's fair. It's a fair question.
He's a legislator. He wants to be a legislator. What's he going to do about it?
It's fair.
Yeah.
And what I think in politics, pinches of truth. You can give out pinches of truth because the whole truth is rough.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but we need to start in this country when we talk about immigration with some pinches of truth that just have not been present in the conversation. But could I come back to that in a moment?
Yes, come back to it. Yes,
okay,
please.
So I know Ted knows about this, but if you were to web search Dallas, Houston homelessness, you find out in the first page of results, you find out these fascinating things, that those are the two most studied cities in all of American housing research. When they study housing at Harvard, at Stanford, Princeton, Yale, they study Dallas and Houston. And there's published peer-reviewed research that shows that in the same 8-year period, Dallas's homelessness rate exploded. It doubled. And Houston's was cut into 1/3 of what it had been.
What was the difference? Because I did hear that.
Houston achieved something approximately 13 years ago.
And actually, I've been to Houston. So one of the things I liked about Houston's infrastructure is everything was up. I noticed that the highways, everything was up in the air, not low to the ground.
I've noticed that too about Houston.
Yeah,
yes,
that was one of the things I noticed about.
It's a huge economic area.
It's a forward-thinking city for sure.
All right, and so I'm answering the question about the first 100 days, and I'm answering Ted's question at the same time because I'm telling you about this research, this science that's out there. Right. But then you have to think about the actual community of the 55th, where I have lived for 22 years, and what people have been working in this space already, and how do you interface with them? Okay, because a complete mistake.
You come behind a lot of powerful people. Should you be elected into office, you
thank goodness. A lot of I live in one of the coolest parts of the country
that can help you get whatever you're trying to get done.
I'm learning from people that have done extremely smart things, like Karen Bass with Inside Safe and so forth. But so a huge mistake would be to think, okay, I've spent many hours researching this, and then I'm going to show up and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to say, well, look, everybody who's been in this space for 20 to 30 years, guess what? I'm the new guy. I know everything. You're just going to listen to me. Okay, that would be a terrible mistake. So the thought I had of the first 100 days is it's going to involve a lot of listening. It's going to go and finding the people that have been in the trenches that are willing to show their battle scars and so forth from that, and get them to form those relationships, and then make all the key people feel that if we all get together and try something different and it works, that they will also be on stage with the rest of us getting the awards.
Ownership.
So you're going to include the people.
Okay, they own it. They are being respected. They are being admired. Right. They are being listened to, and that can't happen overnight. Like, because we live in a cynical world. Okay, so you have to really go out and
it sounds like inclusivity
at a leadership level. At a leadership level, there are many brilliant leaders, and what they've discovered over the past decades of dealing with the issue of homelessness should be honored.
What do you see as a future for LA? Because you've been living here 22 years. I'm just from my perspective, because when I went away, I was gone for 15 years. And the thing that appalled me when I came back is the first thing I did when I came home is I was like, take me to the street, take me, because I've been in the Fed, so I've been everywhere in the United States, but home. So when I came home, I was staying at a friend of mine's house until I went to the halfway house, and I told him to take me to South Central. And I remember one of the first corners I went to was King and Western.
All right, that's a good one.
It's
Chesterfield Square. Chesterfield Square.
It's pretty much right in the center of Los Angeles, especially South Central, where I grew up and everything like that. But what I was appalled by was all the people, the homelessness. I had never seen my city like that. I remember I was living at the halfway house, and I had to leave, and the halfway house was in Hollywood, and I would come back to Central LA, basically what they call South LA now. But anyway, when I would come back there, I would walk past. There was this Home Depot right there on the corner of Sunset and Hollywood, or Sunset and something Vine or something like that.
Okay, up there.
Yeah. And I mean, there was literally people sleeping in the parking lot. I mean, not no tent, just on the ground. And I was like, wow. And people sleeping in the bushes. Are you serious? Like in the bushes? Like, how does this happen? That's what I was thinking at the time.
Didn't Ted kind of spell that out earlier? Didn't you call it a premonition? That homelessness, you said homelessness is
it's an omen.
It's an omen.
Yeah.
It's an omen, a premonition.
It's an omen not only of something potentially bad, but it's also something potentially good.
All right.
Where does
up to us to decide what we're going to do with it.
Where does the good come in at?
Now, see, this shows a psychological tendency that my brother, who's a PhD in psychology, knows about, which is there's a correlation between getting into politics and being an optimist. Okay, so you got two optimists right here.
Is that what it is?
For better or for worse. It's just,
well, I guess I'm
very correlated.
I'm an optimist because I don't see how it pays to be negative.
Well, I'm an optimist because
we're all optimists.
I'm an optimist because I got no choice.
That's pretty much what I'm saying. That's why I said I don't see how it pays to be negative. I mean, because everything that you see without is negative. So if I was negative on the inside and it was negative, it would be like double hell. You understand what I'm saying?
I like your stance as far as being a servant.
Oh, there we
of
go.
The people. That you're not coming to them with a bunch of ideas about what you think they need, but you're coming saying, I want to hear from you. You're my bosses. You're paying my salary. The Constitution says we the people, not me, y'all. Y'all supposed to tell me.
This is 73 years worth of wisdom speaking right now.
And that will endear you. I told other guys, well, maybe I shouldn't be giving this information out, but the more you present yourself as a servant,
right,
and not a celebrity or a politician, but a servant who knows political
Kim Kardashian.
ways, they're going to love you. And also put on the mantle of Abraham Lincoln, and I'll show you how to do that.
Yeah.
I should be doing that on this and that, right? We'll talk afterwards. We'll talk off camera, off.
No, I think
owing. But if I'm gonna, let's say a person's ready to listen. Let's say a person's ready to listen, but somebody has to be ready to give high value information, which means the trust gap has to be overcome. And this is something that Black Holiday and I have talked about. Is there is an enormous trust gap between the Black community and the Republican Party, and it is largely earned in the wrong sense.
History tells you we have a. I'm sorry, you go ahead. My apologies.
Yeah, well, okay, so
you're right.
No. I would like for you to expound upon that, because that's one point that we haven't talked about. And most times when we start talking Republican in the Black community, people just fringe up. But people don't know that the Black community was basically created by the Republican Party. And you know something about that. When I'm saying created, I'm saying that there wouldn't even be a Black community had some of those people in the Republican Party.
We're going way back.
Fought for
Republican Party
our
was
freedom.
Created, Republican Party was created in 1854 in a little schoolhouse in Ripon, Wisconsin. 1854-56 is when the Republican Party was built. It was built specifically to address chattel slavery.
There you go. Party of Lincoln. Party of Lincoln.
And but after Reconstruction, up until 1877, there were some bad things that happened.
Like what? What could you say?
We had oppression from the Democrats who did not want us to learn to read because they knew if we learned to read, we see what was in the Emancipation Proclamation, the 14th Amendment, and so forth. So they was and they was lynching white guys, man. White guys
I don't know.
come down.
And they called them. You know the name they had for them?
What's that?
Scalawag.
The scallywags were the Southerners who were sympathetic to the
Carpetbaggers.
Carpetbaggers, and there were the carpetbaggers. They were some no good. You know, the point is, honest guys like you would come down, Republican guys.
That's a nice compliment, thank you.
They would come down to teach the freed slaves to read because they knew the importance of us learning to read, the power that was bequeathed to us.
And these were Republicans.
These were white Republican boys, and they would beat them and they would lynch them. They would hang them.
There are posters.
You didn't never hear about that.
There are posters. The
White boys
KKK posted posters threatening to lynch carpetbaggers and scalawags. And to me, that's one of the quickest points you could make to a white person in the United States who denies the existence of white supremacy. If they say, "Oh, I don't know what that is. I don't really see it in my life." I say, "Well," and I've studied this. Okay, in 1868, in a Supreme Court in North Carolina, there was a white man named William Kloss, that was asked to testify about what the definition of the word scalawag was, and he said something, and this is a very strong thing to say, but he said, "A scalawag is a native-born Southern white man who says that he's no better than a Negro, and when he says it, he tells the truth." And then I say to a colleague or I say to an acquaintance, that is white supremacy. If another white person is telling you you're not even allowed to view a black person as an equal, and we're going to lynch you if you do, right? Okay, so heavy stuff there.
Along with the oppression coming at us, there's also the internal oppression where black folks could not get along with each other just like we do today. And I'm gonna tell y'all something right now, and you can fact check me. We talk about black boys killing each other by the thousands. For 245 years, as long as we was chattel slaves, the white man had his chains on our hands, there was no black-on-black violence, let alone murder. Why? Because you belong to to Miss Bastard Charlie. If I hurt you, I can yell at you, I can call you names, but I better not put my hand on you because I'll be going touching a brand new Tesla, a Master, you get your ass whooped, right? So, but when the white man took them chains off our hands,
which took a long time.
Check out the statistics. We took off on
each other
to the point of where in 1963, when King said, "I have a dream," we black folks, being the minority of minorities, had the highest rate of homicide than any other ethnic group in this country. And to this day, it remains the same. What is that? It goes back to the spiritual. That's our ancestors warring in us because we have never made peace spiritually with each other. We come from different tribes. I mean, you may come from tribes, and we used to hate y'all. Your ancestors, you hate mine. We may have put y'all on the slave ship. See,
but we feel compassion, though, right?
I'm sorry.
But we feel compassion for the black community.
No, we
right?
don't. No, we don't.
We don't.
No,
we do
people.
not. No,
I know.
I'm talking black folks. We don't.
You're talking about in the inner city. It's
Y'all
a black
may
community.
feel
It's a black
compassion.
conversation now.
Y'all may feel compassion.
This is a
about
black
our
conversation
condition,
right now.
But we have issues that y'all know nothing about.
Yeah, this don't have nothing to do with you, Keith.
You see,
just relax for a second.
Yeah. See, and because of those issues that's never been resolved, because when we never had a peace treaty with each other. We went to war when slavery as warriors, and we've carried that, and we got that anger, and so forth, and so we take off on each other, and the strategy is, I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. The point is, it was so bad that the Republicans in 1776 they did not win enough electoral votes to be president, and so the Democrats told Republicans, we will give you the necessary electoral votes if you remove the federal troops from the South and make them stay in their barracks and so forth. Rutherford B. Hayes, my namesake, one of the Hayes boys, right, from the plantation, he would want to be president, and so he made the deal, which he apologized later for. It was the worst thing he could have ever done. And when they did that, that was when Jim Crow was born. Because when they pulled them troops out, that's when the Democrats got busy and the KKK got busy on the policy. And the Republicans, they went towards you've heard the robber barons? Them all Republicans, most of them Republicans, man. Coal mining, railroad, Wall Street. See, and so the Republicans stood and watched the Democrats Jim Crow us and lynch us for 99 years, all the way up to 1964. The only time the Republicans said anything was with what Dwight David Eisenhower when he advocated for the Brown versus Board of Education to get black people to learn to read, because they knew in that law is so much power that Andrew Johnson, the president, the guy that took over Abraham Lincoln when they killed Lincoln about all this, when Johnson took over, when they gave him the 14th Amendment to sign off the Civil Rights Act of 1866, you can read it. He said, "No, I cannot sign this." And they said, "Why?" He says, "Because it gives too much power to the black citizens, the slaves, over the white citizens. I cannot." And of course, they overrode him. The point I'm making is that mindset has been in the Democratic Party from Andrew Johnson all the way down to Donald Trump. This is why they hate Donald Trump so much. They don't hate Donald Trump because he's an asshole and a womanizer. They hate Donald Trump because he said, "I'm going to shut the border down." Why? To stop illegal immigration. Why? Because it hurts black people more than anybody else. He said the 14th Amendment does not belong to anchor children, foreigners. It belongs to black people. Why? Because they were slaves. He said, "I want to be like Abraham Lincoln. I want to finish what Lincoln got cut off from doing." That's why they hate him.
Did he ever say that publicly?
Yes. Yes. And
you can jump back in right now, Keith.
Yeah.
I think he set the stage for you to.
Well, it's perfect because we came back to the immigration issue that we had talked about earlier. We wanted to come back to.
Yeah, and I believe, my brother, because black folks are very upset about that border right now. They starting to get it, and I believe, I'm giving advice, but I believe any candidate for the 55th district who happens to be white, the white guy, if he wants to win over the 55th district, he must become like an Abraham Lincoln figure. We don't care about skin color. We really don't. That's a myth. We care about what you're gonna do. A guy by the name of Supervisor Kenneth Hahn. I know the Hahn family.
Yeah.
Kenneth Hahn is considered the Abraham Lincoln of L.A. County. And that's because he put so much concern to the people here.
That's what it has to be.
White, whatever, man. Lincoln was white.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Definitely, that's the experience I've had when I'm at West Angeles, when I'm at First AME, when I'm at Bethesda Temple, when I'm at Brookings Kirkland AME, when I'm at Baldwin Hills Baptist Church.
You're more welcome than hearing me.
Okay.
That's real.
I'm not going to go that far, but
you don't
I have felt
because you got a rough office, but that's real.
Extremely welcome.
What he's basically saying is that people will look at us if they don't know us and be like, "What is he doing here?" But they'll look at you as you are a visitor and welcome you, and just be like, with open arms.
Give you royal treatment.
Yeah, that may just be in our minds, but
maybe it's in our minds.
We don't
paranoid.
I've never been white, so I don't know. But that's basically what I'm getting from what he's saying. But go ahead and finish telling.
The facts on the ground is I've been treated remarkably well, and if that dynamic is part of that, then I should give thanks for that, and I should be even more humble, and only decide to hold myself to a higher standard if it's going to be like that.
I would say, this is what I would say, Keith. I would say you have a damn good chance. The way that I've seen you here today on the show, the way you interacted with us, you just would be in yourself. You don't come off like tense or afraid or in a closet or reclusive or anything like that. You just being Keith, and that's all we ask for. That's all our community asks for. We just want authenticity.
Sir, you are not the first to share that with me.
Yeah.
You are not the first.
So remember this day and remember this conversation when you get all high and mighty and you get popular and you see us out there rallying and doing because we're always going to be fighting.
Man, if he ain't do the job, we're going to be up in his office.
I'm known for being a little bit stubborn. I'm known for being a little bit stubborn and not easily influenced aside from what my stated and original mission is. And I'll give you an example of that. Okay. Party politics is rough. Okay.
Right.
And because I am a moderate, because I am trying things that that a Republican candidate has not tried in decades, there are hit pieces being written about me. In fact, I can't believe this.
When you say hit pieces, what does that mean?
Real hit pieces, okay?
Negative, untrue things about his policies or his history.
I mean, I can't believe this, but and if you feel like I'm at ease now and feeling natural, that really speaks to the fact that I've been in politics for a while. Because literally the minute as we walked, when you picked me up, when I got out of the Uber, I got a message that a much more intense hit piece just dropped on me.
Oh, really?
Just a minute before coming in here.
Wait till they see this.
I'm not even worried about it. But the way that the point I would hope to make with that is that yes, I can be put under pressure. So some folks can try to intimidate me and bully me into deflecting me from where I wanted to go, and I'll just keep right on going, and I'll sit down with you guys and do this when that piece just dropped on me, and not be deflected from what I came here to say and what I was hoping to learn from both of you.
Bro, you got an S on your chest.
Okay.
But that's good.
Okay, so
good, though.
What
SK,
happens?
super key.
So what happens if a Republican candidate gets elected? Right? There's going to be people from the party that are going to come and be like, "Well, thanks, Keith, for all that work you did with the black community, but we want you to vote this way now."
Oh.
I'm going to be like, "No, I'm sorry."
Wow. Is this how politics goes?
Yes, sir.
You better believe it's how it says.
Even if they don't help you get in, they still expect you to kowtow to them.
Right.
Because
That's why I got out of it.
You waving the same flag they waving. It's almost like game banging.
Well, or just they're going to give it a shot. They're going to give it a try. They're going to be like, "Well, let's find out how easy it is to influence this man." Okay, so I'm trying to build up a track record that shows that that's not the kind of person that I am. And so one of the ways that I've shown that is they publish these hit pieces, and they even found people that know things about my personal life and put it up on the internet. And on my campaign website in the press section, I link to those pieces to say, I'm not even going to hide this from anyone. The voters in the district, the black voters, the Latino voters, the Asian voters, and the very significant Jewish community that's in the district in Pico Robertson, okay? All of Pico Robertson is in the 55th, okay? They can read those hit pieces, and they're wise and smart enough, and they can figure out whether it makes sense or not.
That's right.
All right. So the reason that that's politically important is because of the risk that any community would take going with something different, going with something new, that it's going to be like a bait and switch, right? That would be terrible. It better not be that. It better not be a bait and switch. And so you want to see a person that when the cruel world tries to deflect him and intimidate him, that he just stands firm and rejoices and celebrates, and I'm in a good mood.
Stand for what you said
I'm
you stand
happy.
for.
You can't make me sad with that stuff. It's like I come down here to Lamert Park where I got my Taste of Soul
on.
shirt on.
Crenshaw. What does that say
here.
down there? Crenshaw and
Obama
Boulevard.
And Obama Boulevard. Okay.
Look at that.
And
that's a Democratic shirt.
Juneteenth. You could put it that way, or we could
is
start
that way.
to move past some of these old categories.
No, that's what we're here for.
Next
We're
time
definitely
you come down here, have on a Trump T-shirt.
No.
Okay, they got some.
Hey, that's
those,
the cool thing about the black community. They're hard to please. You can have on Democratic. You could be a Republican, have on Democratic shirt, and we'll point that out. You have on a Trump shirt, we're going to be like, "Oh, you with Trump, huh?"
Get you a tailor to cut the shirt in half. One's half Trump, one half.
That's actually an extremely creative idea. That's an incredibly creative idea.
That'll get some attention. I tell you that, because that's what you're doing. You are a division piece. Like, people are going to be divided.
Right.
They are.
It's not like they are. It's not like everybody out there who's divided. Hello.
It's not like they're gonna go to the poll. Like a mass of people is gonna go to the poll when it's time to vote, and everybody's gonna be like, "Yeah, vote for Keith." You understand what I'm saying? The new Republican for the 55th district. If they vote for you, it's gonna cause a big division, bro. And
there's a huge trust gap.
Are you ready for that?
I mean, I've had some experiences. I don't know if even I'm ready to tell the stories necessarily, but it always ended up having a happy ending. And I haven't even forgotten that Ted asked about this extremely difficult issue of immigration and its effect on the black community, and we have in the 55th every year the percent registered black voters decreases slightly.
How many
the percentage Latino voters increases slightly?
Can I tell you guys something?
Yeah.
Something. Lamert Park, 2007. June 22nd, 2007.
I was around back then.
We had led 3 civil rights marches, 2 in downtown on Broadway against illegal immigration, invasion, and occupation, 1 in Hollywood, and we decided to do one here in South Central, Lamert Park. And we marched down here, blacks, white folks, Hispanics, all of us, Mr. Peoples with the reparationship. And we get down here, and there was a bunch of folks from East LA out there. A bunch of what we call La Raza people. The La Raza is my race.
Raza.
Everything for the other people's race is nothing. Very racist, Nazi kind of mentality. And we get here, and police out here, and these people had took over Leimert Park. We had a permit.
The
to be in
Raza took over
Leimert
Leimert Park?
Yeah, they took it over, and they brought their babies and children. And they told the police, they told the chief of police.
What year was this, 2007?
2007. They told
This is remarkable history.
They told the chief of police, if you try to enforce Ted Hayes' legitimate permit to be in Leimert Park, a black Central Park, to speak his and their free speech about how illegal immigration is affecting black folks, there will be violence, and you'll be sued. And see, LAPD had got sued earlier.
And they didn't want to go
Because
down that
in
road.
May, because they beat the snot out of some cats for attacking them, because they attacked the police, because they said the police was protecting us every time we would have a civil rights march. The police be in front of us, behind us, and beside us to keep them people from beating us up. And right in Leimert Park, the people that organized, guess what happened to us?
What?
We went to jail, man. They arrested us.
That's a bitter, bitter experience.
And it's a good experience because now black folks in South Central LA starting to realize Ted and them was right. They tried to tell us 18 years ago. You know that statement? I'm sorry, I'm saying too much. Y'all will hear more about this in the future.
No doubt, no doubt.
But
we're looking to you, my brother.
we
to
know
do the
about
right
these
thing.
conflicts, but at the same time, we love our Latino community. And
Yeah, I'm not
Right.
Latino community because
Right.
Latinos was with us on that. Okay.
Right.
And-
Well, the
and-
black
and-
community pioneered civil
It was
rights in
in
the
the
United States,
Raza
right?
camps, man.
Everybody else benefited from the
Everybody
pioneering work that the black
benefits off
community
our
did, including
ancestors,
white women.
man. Come on,
Including
brother.
white
Now
women.
Now you sound militant. Now you sound militant. You're like a Panther now.
Aren't we at a point in American politics where we can have pinches of truth, a little bit more pinches of truth about the way that white women have benefited from affirmative action?
Man,
and so
brother,
forth?
please don't
Okay.
go there. You are so right about that. And see, and this is the
I
kind
stay
of
away
message
from women's
our
subjects,
people-
period.
This is the kind of message.
Hello, ladies.
This is the kind of message that the brothers and sisters are going to expect to come out of someone like you. To talk about the things that a lot of them don't even understand and know, and feel your passion from it. That's what's going to be the difference in this thing. And that's going to make those other people that whoever's going to be, I don't know who's running against you, but it's going to make them have to enter that conversation because they ain't going to let that white boy dominate the narrative.
Okay,
Oh,
let's say
let
a
me-
pinch of truth on
Go ahead,
immigration.
go ahead, Keith, go ahead.
Let's say I walk into a Republican room and they have fists in the air and they're saying, we hate illegal immigration and stuff like that. And I say, okay, hey guys, okay, we hate illegal immigration, right? So we're going to boycott all the restaurants in Los Angeles where there's undocumented people in the kitchen, right? And then everybody's like, oh no. And we're not going to get our landscaping and our gardening done.
And we're
by
going to
undocumented
boycott all the
right?
people who
And
have
we're not going
illegal
to get our
immigrants in their
offices or
home.
our homes cleaned, and we're not going to have our elderly or our young people taken
Taken
care
care
of.
of.
And we're not going to buy things in the grocery store. And they estimate that 40% of American construction is undocumented. And then everybody's silent. So this reveals an underlying economic reality that almost nobody wants to talk about, which
Called
is that
slavery.
Which is that it's a modern form of forced
Labor.
labor or
Yes, it is.
exploited labor. Okay, that
labor
American
market,
capitalism. And by
a
the way,
third-
I am a capitalist, but I believe that a lot of us could practice conscious capitalism instead, so that we could protect ourselves a little bit more, and not
Third
sell
world
ourselves
labor
out as
market.
easily. And by the way, in my own main industry, in the software industry, what people do to themselves, the way that they work and stuff
It's
like
not-
that is pretty scary.
They can't contract that out to immigration because I don't think anybody would be smart enough to do that. And not to say that
The issue is, though, what is the resolution?
What is
And
the
this is what we
resolution?
need to talk about. How do we resolve this very emotional, very passionate
State
matter?
that we're
and
in.
you got now 10 million people from around the
Well,
world.
doesn't that have to do
who are
with
coming
debt?
here.
Doesn't have to do with that? Doesn't that have to do with the debt that's owed to the Black Americans?
What do you mean
The
by
ancient debt, the historic debt in this country
What do
for slavery.
Go on.
You know, so that and Black Holiday, that was part of my answer about the trust gap between the Black community and the Republican parties, because the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of personal responsibility,
Right.
and what they call rugged individualism.
Right.
One of the problems is when that is taken to the point where you deny historic debt as a result of that. You can't
Historic
wipe away
obligation.
just because you're the party of of personal responsibility and rugged individualism, that doesn't mean that history didn't happen.
No doubt.
That everything is starting over with you or something like that. No.
Can I say something about that part?
Oh, yeah.
In 1877, when the Republican Party abandoned the original 1854-56 mission.
Right. You mean withdrew the troops?
Yeah.
Okay.
The conservative element took over Republican Party, that rugged individual conservative value thing. Did you realize, folks, that while it was the Democrats who politically, legally made the laws to hold us in chattel slavery, the Democratic Party, that's, you can go to Congressional Library and it's fact, okay? But what we don't hear is that it was the Christian conservatives of the Confederacy, the so-called Bible Belt. They believed in Jesus.
Amen.
See, and yet they were saying to the secular politicians, go ahead and write that law because the Bible says that these people were cursed. Mark of Cain, the curse of Ham. You shall not mix wool and linen. Slaves, obey your masters. The Bible says.
The Bible says all
and
these
they
things.
also, this is something else I've discovered. They also believed in conservative values, was traditional family values. They believed in
all that's going by the wayside.
capitalism. Well, no, let me finish. They believe in
Traditional family values.
And yet they split up families, right? They split up families.
They believed in capital, enterprise, making money, making profit. Okay. They believed in a strong military.
And what
they
group
believed in low taxes.
of people? What group of people is this? Is
These
this
are,
a rugged
Christian,
Republican?
Right.
Christian
So-called.
conservatives.
Are these the
So-called.
Republican?
No,
or
these
the,
are not the Republicans.
These were the
Republicans were
Democrats?
Northerners. Right.
These were the Democrats?
These were Southern Democrats. Okay.
This politics stuff just gets deeper and deeper.
But the point I'm making
ugly.
is
It's definitely ugly.
those policies were conservative. They're the same policies that Sean Hannity believes, that Rush Limbaugh believes, that screaming what's his name on Fox, Mark Levin.
What I think you're referring to is the accentuation of personal responsibility and the denial of historic debt.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
And the conservatives are the ones who. That's why the Republicans said nothing about the lynching of black people from 1877 all the way to 1963, because the conservatives had control of the Republican Party as it is to this day.
Wow.
That's why I quit the Republican Party. I was in the Los Angeles.
It can be a
Republican
frustrating
Party.
experience.
Okay,
Oh, so you were a Republican?
Yes, I got close to the leadership.
Talk about bombs.
When I got close to the leadership, and when I got in there,
Yeah.
for about 3 or 4 years I was in there, and I realized they're not Republicans.
They're not Republican.
They're not even Democrats. I
Listen,
don't know what they are. But they're not Republicans, folks. They ain't Republicans. I'm an 1854-56 Republican. I'm one of them radical Republicans.
Right. Okay, so listen.
I'm sorry, man.
You never know where this is going to go. When you're on Black Holiday TV, you're going to get, but one thing for sure, you're going to get the truth. I just wanted, before I wrap this up with you, Keith, one more time, let the people know where they can find you. Let the people know what your name is. Let the people know what district you're running for. And let them know what what you're planning on doing once you get elected into office.
Thanks so much. Keith Cascio here, a proud Angelino, a proud resident of the 55th District. And my website is keithfor55.org, because that's the number of the district. My Instagram and my Twitter is Keith Cascio, that Sicilian last name, Cascio. Keith Cascio for CA. That's my Instagram and my Twitter handle. And I wish I had more time to put some of the content up that from all these events that I'm doing out
One
in
of the things we can put up is we can put up the endorsements. That's what I wanted to. I wanted to let the people see some of the people. Yeah, some of the people.
Too, though, right?
Yeah, you can always come back to the show.
Get the details.
But come back to the show when you get elected.
Okay.
Or when it's close to election time.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to put in a lot of work before I'm going to touch this table right now, because I'm going to put in a lot of work before I come back.
Knock on wood. A lot of work and a lot of prayer.
It's November 11th. So it's November 11th.
My God.
We got the whole summer ahead of us here.
No doubt.
A lot of events. We got Juneteenth coming up,
Yes, we got a lot of different things going on. But I just want to show you. Can you show some of those endorsements that Keith has? That's on his platform, so the people can see some of the people that
he has behind him, who's rallying behind him to see, make sure. No, it's go to right there. It says endorsements. It should say there.
It's a link on my campaign website.
On the campaign website. There you go. Should be. If you click on endorsements, it should come up.
It's coming up. Yeah. Yeah, that is it right there. So because this is my second time running, so we have the 2022 endorsements, we have the 2024 endorsements, which would be.
Would you like to detail some of those just for the people who can't see?
So I'm being endorsed by my party. I'm being endorsed by the Los Angeles County Republican Party, the California Republican Party, by some young Republican organizations. I'm being endorsed by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayer Association. And one of the ones that, for the purposes of where I'm trying to move as a candidate, one of the endorsements that I'm the most proud of is the Los Angeles County Moderate Voter Guide. And they're doing some great work, kind of getting past the partisan divisions and so forth. So they're endorsing Democrats and they are endorsing Republicans. I'm extremely proud that they were willing to endorse me in this year, 2024.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
Keith Cascio. Did I say that again? Keith Cascio?
It sounds Japanese. If you go to my relatives in Sicily and you hear them say our last name, it sounds Japanese. Cascio.
Cascio. Like Hachu, but Cascio.
Yeah. You know?
Keith Cascio, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause, man.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
We appreciate you having you here. And we appreciate what's in your heart and everything that you planning on doing for the community, man. And I stand behind you, and I just hope that because of the type of person I am, I always root for the underdog. And I always root because I know what it's like to be the underdog. You got one right here.
You got an underdog right here.
I know what it's like to be the underdog. Trust me. And what I also know is I know it takes a heart of gold to change the world. All right, you got to be. You know, I have a line in my songs that says that I want to be the change I want to see in this world.
Right.
Keep calm, trust God, and be a G in this world. You understand what I'm saying? So I commend those people who stand up for change. And that's what I sense about you. I mean, everything is not always, in politics, you got to put everything in words and you got to break everything down. You got to spell. But,
something else is coming across.
Yes, it's heart to heart. Do you understand what I'm saying? What I've been telling you this since we started talking. Let them see your heart. Let a person feel your heart. And that's you don't have to puff your chest out. You don't have to do it. The heart is right here. The heart is actually one of the most delicate pieces of the body.
We tend to protect it.
We do tend to protect it. We got a chest plate over and everything. But that's why they say if it's, speak from the heart, because the heart is tender. Do you understand what I'm saying? The heart is succulent. You understand what I'm saying? The heart is sensitive. You understand what I'm saying? And if I can feel your heart, then we got future.
It's an optimistic heart.
It's definitely an optimistic heart. I definitely feel that.
But
I know you got a long road ahead of you, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to prep you for it.
I think that's what just happened. And
no doubt.
I think the viewers can probably tell. I feel like I could do this all day.
No doubt. You can talk for sure. That's not all it is to it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's more than talking. It's actually about feeling the pain that we've been through. It's also about feeling the struggle that we've been through. And it's also about wanting to commit to do something different, to give us something different, something that we haven't had in the past. And I don't want to say give like it's your responsibility to give, but
well, it is for a public servant.
Yeah, it's a public servant, most definitely. But I'm just cleaning that. I'm cleaning that up for the show because I like a lot of people when you hear a black man talk about give, they're like, oh, there they go again. They want something. No, we don't want it. Only thing we want is respect. Honestly, all we want is respect and equality, and it's the same thing that we've been wanting for hundreds of years.
Well-earned, well-deserved respect.
No doubt. Definitely well-earned.
100 times over-earned.
And leave me alone. Stop trying to tear me out of my community. Stop trying to tear me away from my family. Stop trying to incarcerate me. Stop trying to kill me.
They'll stop that when we stop it. They will stop when we stop. They ain't going to stop till we stop. And that's what the Emancipation Proclamation information is about. That's why we need this, but no, we got to respect us, black folks. We got to respect ourselves.
Respect yourself.
Then they will, and soon something gonna come your way soon, that there's going to be such a consciousness in this country about who we are, not because we're black, but because of the way we were brought here and the country built on our backs. When we walk by, people are going to stand up and give us respect.
Salute.
I'm serious. Even the homeless guys. You know, homeless guy go by, they're going to go,
Shalom.
they're going to respect us because they're going to finally understand the matter of black lives.
The mind,
Yeah,
the
who we are.
mindset of where we come
Yeah,
from.
yeah,
what
and
we've
it's
been through.
something that we're not demanding. The spirit I'm bringing to the table is we're not, you know, the white man, you know, we're the man of black power. No, we're bringing a spirit of reconciliation,
I feel that.
you know, and a spirit of openness, and we're going to be taking our role as the ancestors. You know, we laid the foundation of civilization, and it's time that we grow up and become the big brothers and sisters and stop fussing with our little brothers and sisters. If we say, well, the white man stole everything from us. Well, that's our fault. If he stole everything, we ain't so smart after all.
We're gonna need another show to cover
we're
some
gonna-
of this
yeah,
material right here. I
We're
think.
gonna have a very, very honest heart conversation with black
Well, we've
folks.
had one today. I don't think that we've cut any corners today. I think everybody has been pretty honest and pretty
And I
straightforward
appreciate
with
that.
their agendas.
And I appreciate Keith's knowledge. I'm always impressed when I come across a white man or woman who knows about
The history,
me,
yeah.
my issues.
All right.
That's
In the 55th Assembly
we should
District,
call that
where,
blue-eyed soul brother.
That part.
where we are history and we make history in this district, and it's so exciting. It's
Yeah, it
so
is. It is.
extremely
You're right
exciting.
about
It's also
that.
enjoyable.
I can feel that excitement from way over here.
Yeah, yeah.
And on that note, we're going to wrap up on some excitement, man. It was great having you here today, Keith.
It's an honor.
I appreciate having you here today, Ted.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor.
And can you tell the people where they can find you at? Did you give out your information already?
Yeah.
I know you gave out yours, Keith.
All right. Just go to Ted Hayes. That's Hay. Ted HAYES .US /forward VOTE. You want to work with me to get me into the White House in 2025 to be the czar homeless, and a lot of good things gonna come.
Let's
our way.
do something about
God
this
willing,
homelessness,
God willing.
ladies and gentlemen.
God willing. God willing.
God is willing. God wants us to stand up and do something. People, stop just driving by, rolling up your windows, acting like you don't see those people sleeping on the streets, sleeping up under cars, sleeping in cars. There's an epidemic going on out here, and we have to do something about it. It's not going to go away if just because you turn your head.
Can I say something
Yes, sir.
about that?
Yes.
I started the craze in the city called NIMBYism. I really made that popularized, that people in the neighborhoods, they don't like the homeless, they turn away from the homeless. And what I learned after a while about humanity, I know if I'm driving down the street and I see a car accident and there's blood all, I'm looking the other way. I don't want to see. I don't want to see. And if I come across something I can't handle, I don't want to know about it. And that's human nature. And so I think most people turn their heads. They're not doing it. Y'all not doing it because you're being mean and nasty. I know that. Your heart hurts. But what you going to do about it is the issue. You can't take them home. So you look away. Why? Because you only have but so much emotional collateral for you and your family. So that's in time, you're going to have some answers. They're coming to you really soon, and you're going to be able to look at that, and you're going to be able to take that God gift that in you, that Christ in you, and you're going to use that smart brain of yours, and you're going to help us to
That
devise-
Christ in you.
Yeah, Christ in you. You're going to be able to help us to develop a strategic national plan, not just resolve homelessness, but to resolve a lot of issues affect us, white people, Asian, Latinos, the illegal aliens, whatever you want to call them. It's a humanity thing on our back, black folks.
And we got to do something about it.
It's us. It's on
And
us.
in the meantime, like, subscribe, share Black Holiday TV.
Black
with
Holiday
Black
TV.
Holiday TV.
Yeah,
Hey.
with your friends, associates at work.
And
Let
get that,
people
what's
know.
that cold stuff you got? Fruit
Ice
what?
Cold Damn Near Froze Ministries, right? We're here. We're doing something about
I endorse
homelessness
that. I endorse
in
that,
our
brother.
community. You can't help but endorse
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Here we go
you
again.
stand for it. You are the homeless Caesar. You're trying to get in office to fight for this, man. We on the same team, bro, and so are you, Mr. Keith.
I feel
you
on
on
the
the same team as well, bro. We all
Something
got to
very
work together.
special happening here on Black Holiday TV.
Yes,
Something very
we shared.
unique.
That's what this podcast is about. I told you. I told you before you got here. I said, listen, man, we're going to have a conversation like we're in the front room of your living room.
All right.
and we're gonna talk heart to heart.
Well, next time
like
you need to
three
have.
men.
If you're gonna
Only
do
thing
that,
we're missing is some beers. That's
I was going to say that. See, next time you got to have some beer up in
champagne,
here.
some
But
margaritas
engineer,
or something.
you can't have none, see, because you got to stay focused. But we'll just lay up here and kick it, but not Bud. You're not in the Bud, are you? Bud Light?
That'll take my edge off.
I don't have.
do that.
He does not. He doesn't inhale.
happen
He
later.
won't inhale.
It has to happen
He
later.
hit it, but he didn't inhale. And on that note,
funny.
y'all, we're going to take a small break.
Oh, wait a minute. When I
Oh,
said
wait a minute.
Bud, I said Bud, not Bud.
What was you saying?
Beer.
Oh,
Bud.
Bud.
Beer.
See,
We were thinking about 420. I don't know what kind of Bud you was talking
man.
about. I don't even
I
drink
wouldn't
Budweiser.
I wouldn't put y'all on no front street
Ah,
like
that
that,
part right
man.
there.
Come on. Man.
But we all good. We all
That's
good.
elder abuse, y'all thinking like that about.
Is that what it is?
That's elder abuse,
Elder
man.
we've covered all territory here.
I think we did. And on that note, guys, let's wrap it up. We had a ball here today. We want to thank our viewers for coming through. Like, subscribe, leave your comments in the comment section, and let us know how you feel about the show. And we'll talk to you guys next time on Black Holiday TV.
Shalom.